They tried to silence me with lies, but the truth won in court. The day they fired me, they didn't just take away my job. They tried to take away my voice. My boss leaned across the table, gave me that smug little smile, and whispered, "You won't say a word, because no one will believe you." And for weeks, I believed him. He was powerful, well-connected, untouchable. I was broke, branded, and silenced by the rumors he spread. But then one piece of truth, just one, turned the courtroom upside down and exposed his lies. Before I tell you how, hit subscribe to Lawful Payback so you don't miss the next story. And comment where you're watching from. I read everyone. My name is Daniel Ruiz, 38, from San Antonio, Texas. For nearly a decade, I worked at Western Logistics, one of the biggest shipping companies in the region. I started as a dispatcher, worked my way up to operations manager. Long nights, holidays, weekends, I sacrificed it all. If a truck broke down at 3 a.m., I was the one picking up the call. I wasn't flashy. I wasn't political. I just did the work. But my boss, Clint Rourke, was the opposite. He was slick, expensive suits, firm handshake, and no conscience. His philosophy: if it makes money, it doesn't matter who gets hurt. One late night, I stumbled across something that made my stomach drop. Clint was falsifying delivery reports, double-billing clients, inflating miles, padding invoices. Millions of dollars stolen in plain sight. I did the right thing. I reported it to corporate. 2 weeks later, HR called me in. Violation of company policy, they said. They shoved a termination letter across the table. And Clint, he spread the rumor that I was the fraudster. At first, I thought people would see through it. 10 years of loyalty had to mean something, right? But Clint was a master manipulator. He told anyone who would listen that I was the one cooking the books. Calls dried up. Friends avoided me. Even neighbors whispered when I walked by. Job applications went nowhere. One recruiter bluntly told me, "Your references are bad. Honestly, companies don't want the risk." I checked my bank account. $420. Rent, $1,200. Car payment, $320. Credit card, $400. I called HR to ask for my unused vacation payout, $2,300 I desperately needed. Their response was a knife in the back. Fraudulent employees forfeit benefits. Fraudulent. That word burned like fire. At night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, imagining Clint laughing. Maria, my wife, tried to stay strong, but I'd catch her crying when she thought I wasn't looking. The lowest point wasn't the money. It was the shame. One Sunday morning, I went to church with my family. For years, we'd sat in the same pew. But that day, people turned away. Some whispered. A deacon pulled me aside and said, "Maybe you should stay low for a while." I drove home in silence. My kids sat in the back asking, "Dad, why didn't anyone talk to us? How do you explain to children that lies spread faster than truth?" Bills piled up higher every week. I sold my tools, pawned my guitar. I considered selling my truck, the one thing I had left from my father. I started snapping at Maria. She'd say, "We'll figure it out," and I'd bark back, "How?" The stress was crushing us. Nights were endless arguments followed by silence, so heavy I could hear my own heartbeat. One night, my daughter came home with a field trip form. "It's only $25, Dad." I froze. I didn't have $25. The look of disappointment in her eyes broke me. Later that night, Maria grabbed my hand and said, "You can't let him bury us with lies. You either fight back or we lose everything." Her words lit a fire I thought I'd lost. The next morning, I walked into the office of Rachel Kim, an employment attorney known for taking on impossible cases. She listened carefully as I told her everything. Then I slid a folder across her desk. Inside were copies of spreadsheets, reports, and one damning email Clint had accidentally CC'd me on. It read, "Make sure Ruiz takes the fall if corporate finds out. I'll handle HR." Rachel leaned back, eyes sharp. "Daniel, this isn't just wrongful termination. This is defamation. He didn't just fire you. He tried to silence you with lies. In this email, this is the truth that could destroy him." We filed suit. Western Logistics fought back hard. Their lawyers mocked me as disgruntled, filed motion after motion, tried to drown us in paperwork. Every hearing leaned their way. Even Rachel admitted once, The odds aren't good. But that email, that's our 1%. Trial day came. My stomach twisted as I sat at the plaintiff's table. Across the room, Clint sat smug, $1,000 suit gleaming. He winked at me like it was already over. His lawyers went first. They painted me as a bitter ex-employee, making up lies for money. They brought in executives who called me unreliable and unprofessional. When I took the stand, Clint's lawyer grilled me. You had access to billing, yes? Yes. So you could have manipulated numbers? No. I flagged errors. I didn't cause them. Or maybe you caused them, and now you're here for a payday? The jury shifted. My throat tightened. Then Rachel stood, calm and steady. She held up the email. Mr. Rourke, is this your message? Clint adjusted his tie. It appears to be. Did you or did you not write? Make sure Ruiz takes the fall if corporate finds out? Clint stammered. That's out of context. Rachel's voice cut like steel. Context? You instructed your staff to frame my client. You coordinated with HR to destroy his reputation. Isn't that true? The room went silent. Jurors leaned forward. Rachel wasn't done. She showed mismatched billing codes, ones only Clint had clearance for. She called a driver who testified he heard Clint brag, Ruiz will take the hit. The defense tried to object. Speculation, the lawyer shouted. The judge leaned forward. Overruled. Let him finish. The jury scribbled notes furiously. Some shook their heads in disbelief. For the first time, sweat trickled down Clint's face. His arrogance was cracking. After closing arguments, the jury deliberated. 90 tense minutes later, they returned. Verdict. In my favor. The judge awarded me $2,300 in unpaid benefits, $85,000 in damages, and full attorney's fees. When the gavel struck, I broke down. Maria hugged me tight, tears in her eyes. My kids cheered. Daddy won. Clint stormed out, refusing to face reporters. His empire of lies was gone. For me, the victory wasn't just money. It was truth. My name was cleared. The next Sunday at church, people shook my hand again. One whispered, I'm sorry I doubted you. A week later, a competitor called. We heard what happened. We want someone with integrity. I started work the next Monday. And the ripple effects? Other employees came forward. More lawsuits were filed. Within months, Clint was forced into early retirement. The truth spread this time, faster than his lies ever did. People began saying, if Daniel can win against Clint, maybe we can too. I looked at my kids and realized I hadn't just fought for myself. I'd fought for them to prove that truth still matters. Clint once told me, no one will believe you, but the truth did. If you believe truth beats lies every time, subscribe to Lawful Payback. The next story will leave you speechless.